All right, let's just jump right in. Everyone's talking about how AI is changing everything, but when it comes to cybersecurity, well, it's not just a change. It's messy, it's chaotic. And that's because AI is this bizarre paradox. It's hands down the most powerful tool we've ever had for defense, but it's also the most dangerous new weapon for attackers. So today, we're going to break down what this wild new era actually looks like. So here's the game plan. First, we'll tackle that core conflict, that double-edged sword. Then, we'll get into a crazy story about how your helpful little AI assistant could become a massive insider threat. After that, we'll talk about drowning in what's being called AI slop and what happens when AI-written malware, well, when it fails spectacularly. And finally, we'll pull it all together into a new security playbook for right now. Okay, so first things first, you really have to get your head around this central idea. AI and cybersecurity isn't a single neat thing. It's a fundamental conflict, a force that's pulling security in two totally opposite directions at the very same time. Think about it like this. On the one hand, AI is an incredible ally. It gives defenders these almost superhuman abilities to scan mountains of data and spot threats instantly. But on the other hand, it's a dangerous new weapon. It gives attackers a whole new toolkit for cooking up sophisticated malware, creating a tidal wave of noise, and finding attack vectors we've never even thought of. It's both, all at once. And that brings us perfectly to our first story, which really shows you what this looks like in the real world. We're talking about the rise of local AI agents, these programs that live on your machine. We'll look at one called OpenClaw. These things promise to be your personal assistant, but man, do they come with a hidden cost. So this is the million-dollar question that security folks are grappling with right now. And for a lot of them, the answer is a resounding yes. Some firms are already saying these agents are the new #1 target for info-stealing malware. And the reason why? It comes down to what these things are and what we let them get away with.
Let's be super clear about what we mean here. A local AI agent runs on your computer, not somewhere in the cloud. And for it to do its job, sort your emails, manage your calendar, you have to give it deep, privileged access to, well, everything. And you can see the appeal, right? The promise of automating all the boring stuff is just so tempting.
And this quote from Evelyn Anderson at IBM just nails it. It's a perfect description of the situation. The marketing pitches you this amazing, easy, automated future, but when security experts lift the hood and look at the engine, they see pure terror. It's the classic bait and switch, amazing convenience hiding a massive risk. So, how does a helpful tool turn into a nightmare? Well, it's a perfect storm. Step 1, you give the agent God mode permissions. Access to literally everything. Step 2, you, the user, install it because you trust it to make your life easier. But then comes step 3, the big mistake, a misconfiguration. In OpenClaw's case, a database was just left wide open, exposing all those secret API keys and tokens. And the result? Boom, total compromise. An attacker gets the keys to your entire digital kingdom. The very tool that was supposed to help you becomes what one expert called the most helpful insider threat imaginable. Now, let's switch gears to our second story. Because AI isn't just creating these sneaky new threats, it's also creating a crisis of scale. It's just churning out so much information, so much stuff, that our human-based security systems are actually starting to buckle under the pressure. Just try to wrap your head around the number of vulnerabilities that get reported every single year. We're talking way, way over 100,000, and that number is just exploding. For a security team, that's not just data. That is a massive tidal wave of problems they have to sort through, one by one. And this is where AI just pours gasoline on the fire. You've got people using AI tools to automatically scan for bugs and then just flood these bug bounty programs with reports. The problem is, most of it is junk. It's low-quality AI-generated slop, and it makes finding the one or two actually critical threats, it's like finding a needle in a continent-sized haystack of noise.
And this massive data flood is forcing companies to choose a side. On one team, you've got the open source tool Curl, which basically threw up its hands and shut down its bug bounty program. And on the other team, you've got a giant like Microsoft, which is doing the complete opposite and actually expanding its program.
The founder of Curl, Daniel Stenberg, was totally upfront about it. He said the flood of garbage reports was just crushing his small team. So shutting down the program wasn't about giving up. It was an act of survival. It was an attempt to just turn down the volume. But that leads to a really tough question, doesn't it? When you get rid of all that noise, do you also get rid of the signal? I mean, these bug bounty programs exist for a reason. They find real, serious flaws. So by retreating, yeah, you solve your volume problem, but you might just be blinding yourself to a critical threat that's lurking out there. And this is not just a problem for small projects. This is a huge systemic issue. Even the US government's own National Vulnerability Database, run by NIST, is completely swamped. They can't keep up with analyzing and adding context to all the vulnerabilities, what they call enriching the data. The fire hose of information is just too powerful for anyone to handle right now. Okay, time for a really weird twist in the story. So far, it's been about how powerful AI is a problem. But what about when AI is just bad at its job? Our third story is about a bizarre new type of ransomware where the AI's incompetence somehow makes everything even worse. And it's all thanks to this new phenomenon called vibe coding. Vibe coding. It is the perfect name for this moment in time. It's what happens when someone, in this case, a bad guy, tells an AI to write some code based on a vibe, a general idea. But they don't actually understand how the code works. They know what they want it to do, but they have no idea how it's doing it. And that leads to some really, really strange bugs. Let's look at this Sakari ransomware. The AI-written code works great. For a minute. It creates a key, it encrypts all your files, locks them down tight. But then, and this is the critical flaw, it immediately deletes the private key. It just throws away the one thing that can unlock all the data. So the end result, your data is gone, forever. Paying the ransom is completely useless because not even the attackers can get it back. So why does this broken, messy malware even matter? Because it's a massive wake-up call. It proves that you can't count on paying a ransom to get your data back. The chaos just hammers home the point that you need to nail the fundamentals. Good, tested, reliable backups, they're not just a best practice anymore. They're your only way out, period. So we've seen it all. AI creating new insider threats, AI drowning us in data, and AI even failing in totally destructive ways. So what on earth are we supposed to do about it? Well, it's time to write a new security playbook. One that's not designed for some perfect, clean future, but for thriving in the messy, chaotic reality we're in right now. So what's the playbook for this new era? Here are the big takeaways. First, you've got to adopt a risk-based approach. You just can't fix every single vulnerability. Even this can't. You have to prioritize what matters. Second, build for resilience. That broken ransomware story? It's a huge flashing sign that says your backups are everything. They are absolutely non-negotiable. Third, you have to use AI to fight AI. Don't pull a curl and retreat from the data flood. Instead, use your own AI tools to sift through that noise and find the real threats. And finally, and this is so important, focus on user education, because that's your number one defense against those helpful insider threats we talked about. And really, this is the question we all need to be asking ourselves. The AI we have today, this is the worst, the dumbest it's ever going to be. It's only going to get smarter, more powerful, and more woven into the fabric of everything we do. The mess isn't going away. So the real question is, are our strategies, are our tools, is our thinking ready for what's coming next?